So along with getting the Supernote Manta, I also got the Supernote and Lamy Crystal Clear Thinking Special Nomad set here. So we're gonna take a look at that right now. So the main box is obviously wrapped in this plastic here. And then I like the texture of this actual outer box here. It's a lot more matte. My lights don't go crazy on it as much, so that looks really good. And now for the main box, the metal reusable box here. Oh, looks like mine got dented in shipping. Just another problem I have with DHL. If you want to know more about that, check out my YouTube short I made on their delivery process. It wasn't great. All right. Here it is. So this is like a thin layer of foam on the top here, and this is definitely a kind of paper showing the specs and where everything is laid out, which I think is super cool. It's really interesting that they ship the pen disassembled. I've seen a couple other people get this pen from Supernote, and if you don't get it in this set, it comes put together. So it's kind of like part of the experience of you putting this pen together yourself, which I do like. This is the ceramic infill from Supernote. It says Supernote ceramic right on it. I think that looks really good. And here's the main barrel, which has the Lamy logo on it. I think it's only fitting that you assemble it with the Supernote and Lamy Note logo on the same side. Just makes sense, you know. I guess that's close enough. And yeah, this is a nice all plastic pen here. I used to love the feel of the Heart of Metal pen because it does feel very nice and premium, but I've grown to like the weight of a plastic pen, as it's kind of nice to carry around, not quite as heavy on your device, especially for the little Nomad here. Speaking of the Nomad, here we are. Wow, that looks good. I think they have a different texturing of the inside panels here than on the Nomad. That's interesting. And of course, the classic Supernote off screen here that tells you not to remove the Feel-Rite 2 film, where the power button is, and where the USB-C port is at the top. Very nice and helpful. Great use of the e-ink display. And underneath that, which this is packed more foam here. And all this is like premium foam cut out to shape. It's very, very nice. All right, I have never had the white vegan leather folio. I am familiar with the vegan leather ones though. I have a blue one on my old Nomad. Here's a little guide if you don't know how to align the magnets. And some more packaging foam. Some foam in the loop itself to keep it nice and loopy, I guess. And on the back of this, there is the one difference between this and any other ones of these vegan leather folios, and that's the Supernote X Lamy logo here. I mean, basically, besides packaging experience and this folio, you can buy all the other things. You can now buy this pen. In fact, a lot of people have been getting it separately, like I mentioned. You have been able to buy the crystal edition of the Nomad ever since it first launched. So neither of those two things are exclusive. You just get these like stickers here, this unboxing experience, and the specialty folio, and it's kind of all bundled in the set, which I do think the set goes together well. So if you're liking the Crystal Nomad, I do think this is a great way to get it. This is just a little reminder that the transparent version of the Nomad is easier to scratch than the white one, so use the folio. Here's a quick start guide if you feel you need that. At the very bottom is the standard Supernote cord, which my only problem with it again is still just that it goes to USB-A instead of another USB-C here. Love this right angle USB-C port, that's great. Just wished it wasn't USB-A on the other end. And here's a screwdriver that it includes to take this apart. and get to the SD card slot here, which is kind of neat that you'd be able to see your SD card in its slot if you do expand the storage there. And it's just basically these screws along the edge here and above the magnets. And it will take this whole panel off, which makes like the button loose, the magnets loose, and then you can get access to all the other stuff here. In my opinion, the white version is actually easier to take apart. Oddly enough, you'd think the clear one would be, but this is actually a bit more of an involved process. So this is more for the nerds out there who like the internals and don't mind the little extra steps getting to it. Yeah, I'm gonna put some of this stuff back in here. This is a really nice box. I just don't know what to do with it exactly, but I feel like I can't throw it away. If you have any suggestions, definitely let me know in the comments down below. I'm still very sad about this dent though. That's unfortunate, but it does close nice and is definitely reusable. So those are the basics of this new Nomad set. Here, why don't we see in its folio here. So here's the folio. See, it's just these giant magnets right here. Go right on these magnets right there. That works easy peasy. This folio feels really nice. I think it's just because my other one has gotten greasy over the about a year that I had it. And this fits in the loop. And because of that white insert and the clear body, this matches the white and clear look of this Nomad so well. This is the perfect little Nomad set. Couldn't have done it better myself. I think these deserve to stay together. Unless I have to use this pen on my A5 X2, but I guess we will see. So I'm not really gonna do much of the setup in this video. If you're curious about all like my impressions and thoughts about the Nomad, I've made several review videos on it, several comparison videos on it. So this device isn't any different. And if you want to see some of the initial setup and stuff like that, I do show that in my A5 X2 unboxing. So I'm only going to do very bare bones here, not anything super thorough. I just mainly want to see what the writing feel of this pen is like on this Nomad device. This is a test of the new pen. That does feel pretty much as good as everyone's been saying. I do like how close you can get to the nib. That's really important to me as well. As when I've been using the standard pen, I hold it really close to the nib like this as well. Hard to say if this one feels less fatiguing on my fingers or not, but overall, I think it's a really nice pen. And it suits this device so well. Here's kind of a look at the main three pens all together here. This is being the cheapest, the push-up pen, and honestly, this has been my favorite for the last 6 months or so. So do not count out the cheap one. It is a really nice feeling and writing pen, and I love the push-up feature. It doesn't feel the most premium, but it works well. It does have a little bit of a rattle. Not sure if you can hear that, but that is probably the only annoying thing about the pen. And if that doesn't bother you at all, then you're gonna love this pen. Obviously, I've just started trying this pen now, so it feels really great, but I don't know if it will actually continue feeling like that for me and if this will become my new favorite or not. This was really nice to use. I like how premium it feels, but it had some ghostwriting issues that I just couldn't solve too well. And I just was not a fan of using it, especially switching to this. I just like it so much better. But let me know if you want to see a video comparing all these three different styluses and maybe some third-party ones with the Supernote as well, and kind of give a new best stylus for Supernote video. So let's look at these two folio covers. Obviously this one's been a lot more worn, but here's what the navy blue looks like in person compared to the white. This is a very clean white, which hopefully it'll stay that way. We'll just have to see. And then obviously that nice logo there. I do like that it's on the back. So if you're not a huge fan of displaying this logo, it's subtle, it's on the back bottom, and that looks good to me. I wouldn't have even minded it front and center personally, but if you're not a fan of it, I think it's good that they kept it on the down low. And then here are the two Supernotes side by side. So you get the logo on both of them. This time it's over the motherboard. And yeah, the backs feel very different. This is definitely matte, not as sticky, and this is a stickier full acrylic back here. So they are definitely not the same kind of plastic. I also can't be sure, but it looks like the Crystal Edition is slightly thinner than the other Nomad, which is a cool plus. And that kind of makes sense because this has the whole pop-off back feature, which is easier to access all this stuff than a bunch of screws. And obviously the screens are going to be identical on these two devices, and I cannot really compare them anyway because this Nomad no longer has a screen. So if you're curious what the internals look like from this perspective, well, there you go. And if you're wondering what happened, check my YouTube shorts. I explain the story, at least as far as I know of what happened there. But hey, it still works to compare the backing, which is really the only difference between these two anyway. If you're wanting anything more in depth of a comparison between these two, let me know that also in the comments down below. All right, so that's my unboxing and initial impressions of this special set with Supernote and Lamy here. And I think it turned out fantastic. I really like this, and it feels good to have a Nomad back. I'm really missing my Nomad over the last week. So I'm so thankful they were willing to send this out to me so I could have a replacement. And I'm really excited to continue using this pen here and breaking this tablet in and everything. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Again, if you have any ideas of what I should do with this really nice metal box, let me know that in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. It's almost Christmas time, so your subscription could be like a Christmas present to me, and I will greatly appreciate it. And if you like the equipment I use in this video and you're curious how to set up your own video similar, all of the equipment I use is going to be linked in the description down below. And as always, have a great rest of your day.